All right, what's going on, everyone? Today's video is going to be a little bit different, and I'll be taking a look at the Fifine AM8 XLR and USB microphone. Big thanks to Fifine for sending this out. I usually only review mice, mouse pads, keyboards, really just gaming peripherals, so I really appreciate them giving me the opportunity to try out something new. As always, them sending this to me will not affect my thoughts. My opinions are my own, and they did not tell me to say anything in the video, nor will they see the video before it is posted. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the review, starting off with a quick overview of the AM8. The AM8 is one of Fifine's many XLR and USB microphones. They also have others, such as the K688 and the Tank 3, but this one is marketed more for gaming purposes, specifically for streamers and content creators such as myself. With it being an XLR and USB microphone, you first give yourself the ease of use in USB, as it is very plug and play and has many onboard controls to personalize your experience. But you also get the headroom to allow you to upgrade your setup and pick up an audio mixer that uses XLR only, which allows you to have much more control over your audio quality and gives you more features in general, such as voice changers or voice playback, things of that nature. Now, when I started to use this microphone, I did have a lingering question in the back of my mind, which was, how does it stack up to the top of the line competition, that being the Shure MV7 Plus, which is actually what you're hearing me speak through right now. The Shure MV7 is the leading XLR and USB microphone on the market. It is by far the most popular and is seen being used in many very popular podcasts and by many popular streamers. It too is an XLR and USB microphone with somewhat similar features, but is it really worth the $300 price tag when you can pick up the AM8 for just $45? To answer that question, I will be doing a sound test of both microphones in USB and XLR mode, and I'll go over the differences and similarities of the two microphones. But first, let's go over the AM8 and more of its features. So like I said, it offers both USB and XLR output, giving you both that ease of use and upgrade potential. Unfortunately, it does not come with an XLR cable, but you can easily pick up one of those on Amazon for pretty cheap, which is exactly what I'm using right now on my microphone setup. It also sports a 3.5mm headphone jack on the bottom for audio feedback, so you can hear how you sound while you're talking and adjust gain levels and feedback levels on the fly. This is especially helpful for voice-centric content like podcasting, but it also allows you to route your desktop audio through the USB cable so it comes out of this output as well, so you can hear your desktop audio and what you are saying at the same time. On the front of the microphone, you have two knobs and a touch button. One knob controls output gain, the other controls live feedback volume that will come out of the headphone jack. The touch button is what controls the RGB. You can hold it down and then it will light up just like this. That's another feature of the AM8. The RGB is completely customizable and can be changed just by tapping the button to cycle through different modes. And then you can hold down the button and turn it off if that is not your vibe, which for me, I don't really like RGB, but if you like it, you can easily control it. On the back of the microphone, there is one more touch button. It is a kill switch to mute the microphone on the fly. So if you ever need to get up off of your desk and go do something and you don't want people hearing what you're doing, you can just mute it. One more thing that I want to mention about the AM8 is that it does come in three different colors, the white as you see here, along with the black and the pink. You should be able to find something that at least slightly matches your setup that you already have. I definitely would like to see more colors in the future because you don't really see cool colored microphones very often, but at least it isn't just black and white like most other microphones are. So now that we have gone over all the features of the AM8, let's get into the sound test and then compare it to the MV7 Plus and see how it stacks up. So here's the mic at half gain with no filters and at 0 dB in OBS. Now we have the microphone going into the XLR output into a Fifine mixer, again at half gain with no filters and at 0 dB in OBS. Now moving on to the Shure MV7 Plus, here it is in USB mode with no filters, no changed gain because it doesn't actually have a knob on it, and 0 dB in OBS. And finally, here is the Shure microphone plugged into the XLR output with half gain, 0 dB in OBS, and with no filters applied. So after that sound test, in my opinion, you can definitely hear the difference there. The Shure's general quality and voice isolation is definitely a little bit better, and during gaming sessions when I did use the Fifine microphone, if I ever raised my voice when things got intense, the AM8 would peak really easily, but that can be mitigated with filters and software for sure. That being said, I generally do prefer the sound of the Shure, especially when you end up adding filters to the output. However, I don't think that they were really that much different, and I don't think that that means the AM8 does not bring any value. When comparing these microphones directly, the first thing that comes to mind is absolutely the ease of use. The AM8 has many more onboard features than the Shure, namely the knobs to control the microphone gain and the feedback volume. The Shure does have a mute button, but does not have an easy way to change gain and feedback levels like the AM8 does. Having these onboard controls not only lets you change your sound on the fly, but it is just easy to use and to configure your output. For someone who doesn't want to configure settings in software or to add filters to their microphone, this is a much better and simpler solution. Same goes for that RGB. The AM8 has onboard controls that are very easy to use to configure that. You can cycle through the colors or leave it on rainbow effect or just turn it off if you don't like it. And the Shure does have an RGB light bar, but it is not nearly as prominent as it is on the Fifine or easy to configure. And when comparing these two microphones, that is the thing that stood out to me the most. That is the biggest selling point of the AM8 for sure, that it is very easy to use and you can get started with it right out of the box. There's no need for software to configure it, and it even comes with a stand, although it's very short and that's not very ideal, but you can get started very quickly with it and just open the box, set it on your desk, and get going. It also offers two different types of mounts. You can mount it to the stand that it comes with right here, or you can hook it up to a boom arm, which I highly suggest picking up if you do want to pick up this microphone. And I believe Fifine does offer bundles with that, of course, at a higher price than just the microphone. But all that being said, for new creators just getting started who don't know about audio setups or just don't want to take the time or money to set all of that up, the AM8 is right up your alley. It has one of the most competitive prices for a dual XLR and USB microphone on the market and has decent quality along with it. That being said, I am definitely going to still stick with my Shure. I think it does have better sound quality and levels if you want to not only spend the time, but also spend the money on setting that up. I think if you're really going for a professional sounding audio setup, then going with something that is a little bit more expensive like this is definitely going to be your way to go. But like I said, if you're someone who wants a simple but still very ample solution, then the AM8 is absolutely the way to go. It's cheap, it offers decent quality, and is as simple as it gets to configure and use. That's going to do it for my review of the AM8 from Fifine. Big shout out to them for sending out the microphone for me to review. This was my first shot at reviewing something that wasn't a mouse pad, or gaming keyboard, so it's a bit out of my comfort zone for sure. So let me know if you enjoy more general tech reviews like this in the comments, and maybe I'll do some in the future, we'll see. But next video is going to be a budget roundup of a few different mice that I've tried recently at a few different price points, so please be on the lookout for that one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Hey, we can fuck little mama, I can't lip lock.